Can you tell me about the most difficult time in your life?
My brother David was murdered in March of 1991. That would be 22 years this year. There's no way to explain that. I mean, no one sees that coming. It's one of those things that is a life-altering moment. In most life-altering moments, we get to choose who we get to marry, what college we're going to go to, what degree we want to do, what we want to do with our lives. But this is something that we have no way of knowing is coming and no way of making a difference. It just happens, and you have to learn about who you are afterwards, because you're never the same person you were before the murder of someone you loved.
What or who helped you through that difficult time in your life?
Well, I went numb for a lot of years after that. For me, it was more about making sure everyone else was being okay, making sure my parents were surviving this. No parent should outlive their child. It's kind of hard because really I'm not sure. I mean, the only person I remember at that time is I had an uncle and he's the only one who asked how I was doing at the funeral. He wanted to know that I was okay. And thinking back, he's the only one out of all those people who were there that asked that.
How did you hear about POMC, and what does it stand for?
Parents of Murdered Children is POMC. My parents actually started going to the chapter in Orange County, Southern California, and I learned of it through them. As a matter of fact, their group a few years back did the national conference in Orange County, and so my parents insisted that I went. They paid for my way, they paid for the flight, all that down there. I thought I'd go down and help them out. It's Parents of Murdered Children, it's good for my parents. I got a lot out of something that I went down. I was there to help my parents out, and I got so much out of it that I felt like it was something that would help me, and it would be a positive, the only positive out of my brother's murder.
What is your position in the organization?
Currently, I'm the chapter leader for the Sacramento chapter of Parents of Murdered Children.
Do you have a lot of members in your organization?
Parents of Murdered Children is a nationwide organization. I don't know how many people are nationwide. Every chapter is a little different. Currently, our chapter averages about 10 people a month, although we have an email list of like 50 people right now.
What are some events your organization is involved in?
Well, the main event that our group does every year is the National Day of Remembrance for Murder Victims. September 25th is the National Day of Remembrance for Murder Victims, and we hold an event at the state capitol so that our loved ones aren't forgotten, and so that people can remember them and realize not only what an emotional cost is for us, but for the community as a whole, because it not only affects our loved ones who were murdered and our families, but it affects everyone. And we want them to remember that.
Can anybody join your organization who had a family member murdered?
Parents of Murdered Children is a support group for anyone who's had a loved one die by violence. So anyone, and it's not just parents, it's siblings, it's children of, it's grandparents, spouses, your best friend. I mean, if you've had someone die by violence, we're here to help you figure out how to get on with your life, how to figure out who you are.
How long have you been a member of POMC?
I've been working with the Sacramento chapter of Parents of Murdered Children a little over 5 years now. Just started going, luckily for me, when I went to the national conference in Orange County, I realized that they had a Sacramento chapter. And so I started going, and it wasn't long before I was active in helping out. I mean, the National Day of Remembrance was coming up, so it really helped.